Plug Into Allah, the podcast, Episode 4, Trusting Allah as Your Ally Through Darkness and Doubt. Page 4, Episode 4, Plug Into Allah, Islamic Prayer Journal. Allah is the ally of those who believe. He brings them out from darkness into light. Quran 2:257. Today, complete an exercise by answering the 3 following questions. 1. What darkness am I currently facing in my life? 2. How has Allah already brought light into my situation? 3. What steps can I take today to trust Him more fully as my ally? Assalamu alaikum, and welcome back to another episode of Plug Into Allah, the podcast. I'm Yasmina, and today we're getting real about something personal, a struggle many of us don't say out loud. Have you ever felt resentful about being born Muslim? Wished you could have experienced the wild freedom of partying, drinking, relationships, physical intimacy, then taken shahada at the end of the day and had it all erased? Have you ever felt Islam was suffocating instead of freeing? Today, we're tackling those thoughts head on because the reality is many of us feel them. But what do they mean? And how do we begin trusting that Allah is truly our ally, not our restriction? Allah is the ally of those who believe. He brings them out from darkness into light. This verse speaks directly to the heart of what we're wrestling with today. Allah is our ally, our protector, the one guiding us from confusion, frustration, and regret into clarity, relief, and peace. But if that's true, why does faith sometimes feel so limiting instead of liberating? Let's be honest. Sometimes I regret being born Muslim. I resent that I never got to experience what reverts did, their wild years, where they lived without boundaries, then took their shahada and had a clean slate. No sins followed them, no deep regret of things they missed out on. Meanwhile, here I am, stuck in this small, narrow lane, expected to obey every rule, never color outside the lines, never stray. It can feel exhausting. It can feel unfair. It can feel, if I'm being totally honest, miserable. But then I sit with that thought a little longer, and something shifts. I'll start asking myself, why do so many reverts, especially those who live the party life, drank, chased relationships, experiencing everything I used to envy, why do they become so strict, so inflexible in their faith once they revert? Why do they suddenly refuse to step back into their old habits, even slightly? The answer might surprise you. I believe that for many of them, the lifestyle I once envied, the freedom they had, was actually a period of deep darkness, pain, regret, self-destruction. The things that looked like fun from the outside, the parties, the wild nights, the indulgences, many of them were covering up depression, trauma, and emptiness. And when Allah pulled them out of that world, when He brought them into the light of Islam, they refused to go back, not because they are strict, not because they fear hell, but because they have seen the darkness for what it truly is, and they never want to return to that place. So maybe I wasn't deprived of something amazing. Maybe I was spared. Maybe the reason Islam has guided me on a strict path from the beginning is because Allah didn't want me to suffer through the years of emptiness before finally finding peace. It's a hard perspective shift. It's one worth sitting with. What if the things we resent, having never lived freely before choosing Islam, is actually one of the greatest blessings? So let's pause here. I want you to do an exercise with me, one taken directly from today's page in Plug Into Allah, the Islamic Prayer Journal for Christian reverts and non-praying Muslims. What darkness am I currently facing in my life? How has Allah already brought light into my situation? What steps can I take today to trust Him more fully as my ally? Maybe your darkness is doubt. Maybe it's resentment. Maybe it's struggling to see the freedom within Islam. But somewhere, right now, Allah is already bringing light into your life, maybe in ways you don't fully recognize yet. Maybe it's small, maybe it's subtle, but it's there. The weekly challenge. So here's your challenge for today and this week. Sit with these 3 questions today, write them in your journal, answer them out loud, reflect on them in your prayers. Reframe the way you view life you missed out on. Maybe you were saved from darkness before you ever had to walk through it. Maybe the small lane you're in isn't narrow. It's a clear, guided path towards light. And if you need help working through these thoughts, pick up your copy of Plug Into Allah, the Islamic Prayer Journal. This journal isn't about rigid worship. It's about real reflection, honest conversations, and shifting your faith in a way that feels authentic to you. Not ready to purchase the full paperback version on Amazon for $16? The $5 sample PDF that is 15 pages long is available now on Etsy. The Etsy shop is called Islam for the Rest of Us, perfect for digital note-taking with an iPad and a stylus using notes or Notability. Before we wrap up, I want to hear from you. What's a moment in your life where Allah pulled you out of darkness and into light? DM me or comment your answer. Next week, talk about navigating doubt when you don't feel spiritual and how to find faith even when you don't feel emotionally connected to Allah. Hit follow, tap the link in bio, and I'll see you tomorrow for another episode of Plug Into Allah, the podcast. Assalamu alaikum, and may Allah continue to guide you toward clarity and peace. Love you all.